This demonstration we're going to look at creating a virtual machine. We'll have a look at creating a virtual machine both through Hyper-V Manager and also as well Windows PowerShell. Come into Hyper-V Manager. Next thing we're going to do is create a virtual machine. So there's a couple of different ways we can do this. I can either right click on the host and go to new, or the other way I can do it is I can click on new on actions and then select virtual machine. That brings me into Wizard. So at this point here we'll go on the before you begin, we'll select next. Then what we need to do is we need to give the virtual machine a name. Going to call it lon-guest1. I am going to store the virtual machine in a different location, and we're just going to browse through, and we'll browse through to our location. I'm going to specify /program files /Microsoft Learning 2740 drives, and we'll select next. We have two options here. We can create a generation 1 virtual machine, and as we can see this supports 32-bit and 64-bit, but it does have some emulation in it as well. Generation 2 virtual machines support newer UEFI based firmware and requires a supported 64-bit guest operating system. Main advantage of a generation 2 over a generation 1 virtual machine, we can install the operating system faster and it will also boot faster. But purely for purposes of this demonstration, we're just going to go down the route of generation 1. We'll select next. At this point here we'll just verify the memory, so we're happy with a gig of RAM, and select next. What we're going to do at this point here is I'm just going to connect this virtual machine to my private network and select next. Then what we need to do is we just need to connect our virtual hard disk. So in an earlier demo we created a differencing disk, so we'll select that disk, so we'll browse through, and what we'll do is it's on E drive, program files, Microsoft Learning 2740 into drives, and then what we've got is we've got in this lon-guest1 folder. And we'll select our VHD and select open. Then we'll select next, and then we'll select finish. And now what we have is we have our virtual machine. We can also create virtual machines through PowerShell, so we'll just come into PowerShell. We'll just clear the screen off, just make it a little bit easier to read, and what we'll do at this point here is we'll just specify the commandlet to create our virtual machine. What we're going to do is we're going to do new -VM, -name lon-guest2, memory startup bytes will be a gig. We'll specify the VHD file via -VHD path, so program files, Microsoft Learning, and then 20740 drives, lon-guest2, lon-guest2.vhd, and then we'll specify -switch name, private network. As we can see, lon-guest2 state is off, so no CPU or memory. Uptime, it's never been started. It's operating normally. Version 8. So now what we'll do is we'll just come back to Hyper-V Manager. And as we can see, we've now got lon-guest1 created through Hyper-V Manager and lon-guest2 created through PowerShell. Well, that's the end of the demonstration of creating virtual machines in Hyper-V. Thank you.